from a different star, flying over streets and the broken hearts. But they can't even touch us, we found a different beat. Paradise is waiting and we bought the leaves. Ooh, getting caught in the mist, there's so many that never get out of. They're feeding the fears and the doubts. Ooh.
Good morning. I have just started the lorry up, as you will be able to hear, because we are off to a show today. It's a little bit unusual because it is a Monday morning, but I've taken the day off work, and yeah, we're off to a show just at Bury Farm, which is our local venue. But there's a slight twist because we're attempting our first ever elementary test today, and not just one but two of them. So yeah, I thought I would document this, bring you guys along. Let's see what happens. There's absolutely no pressure. It's just a case of putting some of the stuff we've been doing at training into practice at a venue we're very, very comfortable with, and seeing what happens when we step ourselves up and challenge ourselves. Now, the first test is elementary 40, which has absolutely no circles in, and I'm finding very strange, but it's very similar to one of the higher novice tests. So it's got give and retakes, counter canter, but otherwise, so stuff we know we can do. So that one I'm feeling reasonably comfortable with. The other test is elementary 53 and has got leg yield, rein back. There's no simple changes. There is medium canter, counter canter, collected trot, extended walk. There's a lot of phrases in it that we haven't done before. So that one will definitely be the proof in the pudding and the challenge. But let's see what happens. So yeah, let's get the lorry moving, get Mega loaded up and get on our way. And of course, it wouldn't be a show day if it didn't start drizzling, and Bury Farm is known for being very cold and windy. So, and we're outside for both tests today, which we haven't been for a while. Yay! English weather. Good morning, team. Hello, superstar. How are you? Good mornings. Sectioned her mane up last night, so hopefully shouldn't take too long to get you plaited. Hey, missus, you don't look too impressed by the idea. Good girl, Mooey. Let's get you some brekkie first. Breakfasts are all made, just waiting for the old age pensioners' mashes to soak. And today I'm also going to have one of my friends come and call for me, just to help take the pressure off of trying to remember two tests that I've never done before, with, you know, extra things in that I'm not necessarily familiar with. I thought it would be much easier to have someone to call, and therefore, yeah, I can concentrate on how I'm riding and what I'm doing rather than where I'm going. So fingers crossed that helps. Yeah, let's get Maggie fed, plaited and on the road.
You know that I'm the queen of overthinking. It's like we're done before we even started. So if this is the end now, baby, know that I gave it my all. I believe in us, I won't give up on you. I will be holding on for life.
So after a rather lively warm-up, it was time to go in for our test, and unfortunately the tension did creep into the test and we lost some softness. So you will have seen there with the halt on the entry, we scored a 6.5 with a comment of mouth open to halt, which is completely fair. We then track left, and then we have to change the rein S to L in working trot. We scored a 7 for this, with just a comment of more fluency to the contact. This is what I mean, that when Mega gets tense, you can tend to see it in the contact. It isn't quite as consistent. So although she keeps the rhythm, it messes with her contact, sadly. We then do a half circle, 10 meters, D to K. We scored a 7 for that, with the same comments of more fluent to contact. Then changing the rein in medium trot, V to M, we scored a 6 with a comment of wide behind, more uphill balance. We then go to working canter left at C we scored a 6.5 with a comment of throughness because, yeah, the transition was not great. For the medium canter, S to K, we scored a 7, and we then come back down to collected canter and change the rein and do a give of retake of the reins over L, which we scored a 7 for, although again, she could have stayed more balanced through that. We do counter canter and we continue to score a 7 for that. Back to working trot at H and then medium walk at C, and we scored a 6.5 for that with a comment of more self-carriage, again, just where Mega's being tense and that is affecting that. We then changed the rein in free walk on a long rein M to V. We scored a 7 for this with a comment of more stretch, just where she could be stretching her head more forward and down. So although it's nice and soft through her neck, yeah, I agree that the head could be a little bit lower there. And then we changed the rein in medium walk V to F, and we actually scored a 7.5 for this. There is a comment of softer top line, but given that I was feeling the tension, I wasn't going to push my luck with that. So I was very pleased with that. Then at A, we pick up a working trot, and then we repeat the same sort of pattern that we did on the other rein. So change the rein to the centre line, V to I. We scored a 6.5, which was affected by our throughness in that transition up into the trot, sadly. Then at G, we do a half 10-metre circle left to H. We scored a 7 for that, saying more fluency to the contact. Again, this is just a little bit of a theme of how the test went. And then we changed the rein in medium trot S to F. And then coming back to collected trot at F is included in that mark. We scored a 6 with a comment of more uphill balance, which, yeah, out of the two medium trots, that one wasn't so great. Then at A, we pick up working canter right. We scored a 6.5 with a comment of throughness. So, yeah, our transitions weren't really on form on this day. V to H, medium canter, and then back to collected canter at H, we scored a 7. So our mediums were on point instead. And then we changed the rein, M, I, E, and give and retake the reins over I. We scored a 6 because, as you will see there, Mega did her llama impression and went against my hand. And we then do the counter canter, E to K. We scored a 6, saying about our straightness there. Back to working trot at K, scoring a 7. And then we gradually, at P, allow the horse to stretch on a long rein to B, and then do a half circle 20 metres across to E, where we scored a 7. Mega was pleased to be allowed to have a little stretch there, and then we pick up the reins and do a half circle 10 metres. We score a 7 for this, just with a comment again of more fluency to the contact. It's just where she's not coming through from behind properly and being a little bit fussy in the contact. And then we continue down the centre line, halt at G, and we actually scored an 8 for that. On to our next test. Let's see if I can keep up with all of the marks as we go through them, because there seems to be a lot on this sheet. But we have our enter and halt at X. We score a 6.5 for this with a comment of fell through left shoulder to halt, but she is very, very square from the camera angle. We then track left at C and change the rein S to P in medium trot. For that, we score a 6.5 with a comment of the return could be clearer. So I've not been quick enough, I guess, to collect her back up. I then panic about where I should be going. My friend's calling and I heard her say something, but not what she said. So I just decided I'd put in a circle, which was not required. The judge obviously rings the bell, tells me I'm going wrong. Am I sure I'm doing the right test? And then obviously, because my caller is there, I'm able to just crack back on. So we, after communicating with the judge, get back into our little rhythm and carry on. But that did rattle me because I was already a bit nervous about doing this test, and now I'm thinking I don't even know where I'm going and I can't hear my friend calling me. But anyway, we then carry on. So we transition back to working trot and we get a 6.5 for that. We then turn down the centre line at A and we leg yield right to R. We scored a 6 for this with a comment of too much bend. And I will say we have been working a lot more on our leg yields since we've done this test, and they're loads better. So I think it's just a case of practicing that. We then do a circle left of 10 metres at R. We scored a 6.5 with a comment of more suppleness. We transition down to walk for 2 to 5 steps and then go back up into working trot. We scored a 7 for that. I thought she was really obedient. We then pick up canter at C and do a 10 metre circle at H. We score a 6.5, and there was a comment of more off the aid because I think she was a little bit slow into the canter. We then do medium canter along the long side. We scored a 7 with, again, a comment of return could be clearer. So that's something I'd like to work on. We then collected canter, half circle 10 metres back to the track, between V and E, and counter canter for the rest. We scored a 6.5 with a comment of stiffening. We then transition back down to collected trot, 6.5 with a comment of balanced on the hand. And then we then changed the rein, RXV in medium trot. We scored a 6.5 with a comment of rather hurried. So this wasn't as good of a medium trot as her first one, but I'll take it. We then repeat what we did on the other rein, which is come up the centre line and do a leg yield, this time to the left. And she literally just lost all momentum and all power, and it was like I was trying to move a crab. So we got a 5 for that, of losing impulsion and no crossing. And then we do our 10 metre circle at S, where we got a score of 6.5, comment of more suppleness. And then again do our walk trot transition, scoring a 6.5 with a comment of quarters, a swinging out into the walk. We then pick up canter again at C and do our 10 metre circle. Here I felt like I really lost impulsion and suppleness. I think she did try to trot actually, and we scored a 6 and said the circle was a little large. Back into our medium canter, 6.5, saying rather hurried. And then we go back into collected canter, half circle right, 10 metres back to the track with counter canter. And that was a 6.5 with a comment of needs to stay soft. And I actually think that's because I remember feeling at this part of the test that it was all like unravelling. And so I think I panicked a little bit, and Mega does notice and feel that. We then had to halt at C and do our rein back of 5 steps, which we've never done before, which we scored a 7 for, saying should be more off the aid to walk, but fairly fluent. And then we continue in walk and then change the rein in extended walk, which we scored a 7 for, saying promising, but could have more through shoulder. There's a few comments that are sort of mixed up here on my test sheet. And then from B to K, we changed the rein in medium walk, which again we scored a 7 for, which says about her looking quite nice and relaxed, which is good. We're then supposed to do medium walk K to A and then turn down the centre line. And I seem to remember her wanting to maybe pick up trot a little bit earlier than I wanted her to here. Yeah, that's what that head action was about there. So we scored a 6.5 with a comment of saying needs to stay softer through the frame. But I was really happy with this medium trot we had to do here. But we got a 6.5 saying that we were drifting left. I don't know if that was the wind influencing us or not. And then for our final halt, we got a 6.5 as well.
I believe in us. I won't give up on you. I will be holding on for life. Hope you
We are back. I've just taken Maggie's flats out, popped her in the field. She's already had a roll and covered herself in mud. Look at the state of it. I'm so pleased. Like, today has literally surpassed all expectations. I didn't really have any, I think, as I said at the beginning of the video, but I think in truth I would have been pleased to come away with 2 63% scores, basically, because that is what you need for area festival qualifications. And yeah, as I say, she surpassed that. So we had elementary 40 was our first test, which I think I said at the beginning of the video is quite similar to like a novice, the top end of the novice test. So it had counter canter in it, medium canter, give and retake of the reins across the diagonal, which is when Mega sometimes likes to do her llama moment. But overall it was a like really pleasing test. There was nothing really to dislike about it, apart from, yeah, I think the second give and retake of the reins, she did like go to hollow slightly when I went to take the reins back. But aside from that, there wasn't anything to complain about. And so as a result, we got a score of 67.9%. So just under 68% for our first ever elementary. Oh my goodness. Like, what a horse. Like, she's just, for me, I feel like now having done the two tests, actually the challenge in stepping up isn't really with whether Mega can do it. That's not really the question. I think she's more than capable. It's making sure I am able to ride her whilst thinking about all the different movements and different paces, etc., that I need to be doing all at the same time is basically, I think, what's going to be the challenge here. So yeah, we ended up coming third in our first class. Amazing. We then went on to do the elementary 53, which had a lot more stuff going on in it. So it had trot to halt, and you then had to rein back 5 steps. It had leg yield. It had, yeah, like medium canter, counter canter, collected canter, 10-meter circles in canter and in trot. So yeah, loads of stuff that we've like never done before in a test environment, 100%. And some stuff, like she's not really done that much rein back even in training, to be honest. So I wasn't really sure how that one was going to go. I was quietly confident about the first test, but this was going to be definitely the challenge, should we say. And she rose to it. Like, I did go wrong, which I think is probably a first given that I had a cooler. But if you've ever been to Berry Farm before, it is literally the windiest place in the world. And bless my friend, she was trying, but I basically couldn't hear what she said. I just knew she said something, so I panicked and did a 10-meter circle, and that's not what was required. So anyway, so we got a -2 for that error, of course, and then we carried on. And obviously, like, there's things that 100% we need to go away and like really work on in our training to bring the marks up. But actually it wasn't a disaster by any means. Like, I think the lowest we got was a 5 for one of our leg yields, which we just lost absolute momentum. She basically just did a bit of a crab instead of leg yielding. I don't think she really quite understood what I was asking her to do, bless her. And I think like one of our 10-meter circles, I just felt like I lost her outside shoulder. But there was also like some really good bits, like her extended walk was really nice, her medium canters I thought were good, her medium trot was good. Like, there was loads of stuff to like. And her halt and her rein back, I remember reading the sheet, she actually got a 7.4, which, like I say, we've not even really practiced in training much, never mind in a test. So I was absolutely buzzing with that. So yeah, we finished up with a score of 64.7, I think it was, or something like that. So again, just a shade under 65%. So bearing in mind I went wrong, like that easily could have been a 65, maybe a little even higher, because I did get a little bit flustered after I went wrong. I'm like over the moon with that. So that means that we've actually come away with 2 qualifying scores for the Pet Plan Summer Area Festivals. So we literally just need 1 more in order to have a qualification at elementary bronze for the summer, which is amazing and has definitely spurred me on for trying to get an elementary bronze freestyle sorted, because I would love to do that. The only challenge is that we need to definitely have our simple changes sorted to be able to really nail that floor plan. So that's definitely something we're going to be working on over the next few months, hopefully in preparation for that. But I hope you guys have enjoyed coming along for the ride of us really challenging ourselves, stepping up to elementary, putting ourselves out there and just basically seeing what happens. And yeah, actually it goes to show that you can be pleasantly surprised with what might happen on the other side. So it's definitely spurred me on. I think I've got another like few days to use of annual leave before the end of the month, so I might actually book another Monday off and go back to Bury Farm and do another 2 elementary tests and see how we get on with that. I think it is just going to be one of those where like practice makes perfect. Obviously I'll take all my test sheets to my next lesson with Amy and work on some of the bits that we struggled on with her. And yeah, I'm excited to see what we get up to now over the summer. It's given me a little bit of a bug and a push to really challenge ourselves and see if we can make that happen now for the summer. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys for another video very soon. Bye guys.